Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the second episode of modding a cheap Ibanez RG. I've decided to do an overdub video instead of talking while I'm working because I could just focus more on the actual work and give you my advice of the wiser me later on. So as you can see right now, I'm just disassembling the guitar, just remove the strings and unscrewing the neck. As you can see, it's not really a tight fit of the neck pocket, but it doesn't matter that much. Now the bridge is coming off, 5 screws. I'm gonna work on that later on. Unsoldering the electronics. I really enjoy disassembling a guitar. I don't know, it's so easy and really fun. Here I'm masking off the fretboard because I want to stain the fretboard with some black stain later on. As you can see, I'm clipping off some of the solder joints because I'm too lazy. Don't forget to label your pickups just in case you want to reuse them. Oh, and here you can see that really big impact that I was talking about in the first video. It's really bad. It's gonna be fun fixing this. Yeah, so now I'm outside working with some steel wool on the fretboard to clean off all the dust and especially to polish the frets. Using a brush to remove all the steel wool dust and as well as a slightly wet cloth to really get rid of dust. While shaking the stain, and here we go. It's not gonna stay as dark as it appears right now because it's still wet and oh, that was pretty close. So you can see in the time lapse that it's drying out pretty fast and it's not that dark anymore. Don't even know if you can see a difference, but there is one. The difference is pretty subtle, I must admit. Taking off the masking tape, always fun. Right there I encountered a little problem. There are like small cracks in the binding and the paint went into that and you can see that a tiny bit. I mean, couldn't see that coming, but it's not too bad. Right now I'm using steel wool to buff off any excess stain that is on the binding of the neck. Again, using the brush to clean off the dust. It's time to use some lemon oil to give the wood some moisture back and to keep it healthy. Okay, so now I'm taping off the binding of the neck because the next step is going to be sanding down the back of the neck to prepare it for the tung hole finish that I want to do. I decided to take out the tuners because I thought I would sand the back of the headstock as well, but I didn't do that. As you can see, I'm just sanding right up to the headstock. It's not a uniform joint, I must admit, but you don't see anything now in the finished process. Be prepared for a lot of sanding. I started with 320, but I recommend you start with something like 240 and then 800, and then you should be good. using some Alendo tung oil, which is really good in my opinion. So this is the first coat. In total I did 3 coats, letting them dry for a day or so. Even though it's super dry to the touch already after like an hour, you should leave the tung oil at least, you know, a night to really let it cure. After it has dried, you can sand it down with some 320 grit sandpaper and do a second and a third coat. Just disassemble the bridge to give it a good clean. Yeah, right now I had an idea to make the saddle screws shorter. As you can see, I aligned them and started to file them down. Because that didn't work, I started to file them individually, but I was only progressing very slowly. Yeah, this wasn't really helpful either. In the end, I finally realized to use a bloody clamp to clamp down the saddles and file them. So yeah, after a whole afternoon of some medium hard work, I've had a super slick and smooth neck, some really shiny frets and a good looking fretboard that was darker than before. I'm really happy with it. I also have a hopefully much more comfortable bridge because the saddle screws aren't sticking out anymore. And we're left with a body that wants to be repainted. Yeah, so stay tuned, I will see you next video.